welcome to Smiles in a Bite. Today I'm going to walk you through a hot chocolate bomb tutorial. We're nearing the end of summer and getting closer to fall, and hot chocolate bombs are always a really fun treat, either to make at home with family or even to order some and to have. I last year struggled a lot. There's silicone molds, there's the single part molds that you kind of have to paint on, and they're really a struggle. And I found these 3-part molds. I believe if you search 3-part chocolate mold, you should be able to find some on Amazon. But these I purchased from a specialty cake store, so you may not be able to find the molds I have. I have this heart mold, I have the round one, and I even have a little bear, and it's dirty because I just used them. But I like to put coffee in these because these are smaller than these. These are about 2 inches in size, the heart and the regular ball. So even like for adults or people that don't like hot chocolate but love coffee, I like to fill these with instant coffee, and they're really good. So what you do, and if all you can find is just a single plastic mold that you have to paint on, there's nothing wrong with it. It does make things a little bit more difficult because you have to really work to get an even layer of chocolate all around, and then the same thickness of the border to really secure them. So these are ones I just made. Typically when I make these to sell, I'm wearing gloves just to protect the chocolate from my fingerprints, like the heat of my hands, so it doesn't lose its shine. There are certain parts where it still has it, where I haven't been grabbing it as much, but when you hold it with your bare hand and you just hold on to it, the oil from your hand is rubbing off on the chocolate. So even with a quick tap, the chocolate is losing its shine, and you don't want that. So typically you would use gloves. But if you're making them at home and you don't care what they look like, then it doesn't matter, and it's up to you. So I'm using the Merkin's dark chocolate candy melts. You can use chocolate chips, though I wouldn't recommend it because chocolate chips don't really set all the way. And candy melts are honestly a lot more accessible and better to have on hand. Or some people use the almond bark that they sell at Walmart or Ralph's. Have some, I believe. But I'll always use candy melts. And I like to use the dark chocolate one specifically because it's not really dark chocolate. It's not bitter. It's just a nice balanced sweetness. So I'm going to go ahead and use a piping bag to fill the molds, so as to not make too much of a mess. So these molds actually have a guideline in the center of them so you know how much chocolate you're putting into the mold. That's why I also like these, because you know exactly how much to put in, and they save time. You're not sitting there brushing chocolate onto the plastic and then having to let it set and then coming back and redoing a second layer. This is just all in one go. The longest part about all of this is just waiting for the chocolate to set. So if you don't have cake supply stores near you, which I'm sure not everyone does. Amazon is honestly a really good place to look for supplies because they'll have things that even Michael's or Hobby Lobby and stores like that don't have, or even Joann's has some stuff. So I like to put my mold anytime I'm working with chocolate in the freezer because it sets faster. If you put it in the fridge, it's fine, it works. It's just it takes a little bit longer, and I like to try and make things as quick as possible. So I'm just gonna put these in the freezer for the chocolate to set, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I like to leave it in the freezer for between 2 and 5 minutes. It really doesn't take too long, but I like to leave it in there a little bit longer because since you're putting in quite a bit of chocolate, it is a thicker shell, so it's not gonna break from the cold like if you're using a small thin litter mold, because sometimes the chocolate will break from the cold. So if you want to do coffee bombs, so I have 2 bears already made. If you want to do coffee, you just get your favorite instant coffee. I have 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons is about what fits into here. Now, if instant coffee itself isn't strong enough for you, you can get instant espresso. And it seems like it's the same, but I believe the espresso is meant to be a little bit stronger. So you just fill up the mold. And you pack in the coffee granules. And the way I like to do it, some people use a piping bag and pipe chocolate around the border. I like to heat a plate or use a metal cake pan, and I use my torch because I have it available. If you just have a chocolate plate, a glass plate, and you stick it in the microwave for a minute or 2, you can do that, and it works great. I've done it just having the torch on hand. I might as well use it. So you want to be careful because it's hot now, and you're only going to sit it on for just a little bit to make sure you get it all. Then you're over, and you line it up and just press down a little bit, and just if any chocolate comes out, you kind of clean it up a little bit. Again, if you have gloves, heat it up for longer. Sometimes you do have to do it a couple of times. The only problem with the little bears can get messy because they're smaller. But once you've done them for so long and you get practice, then you get into a rhythm and it just makes it easier. Just let it set. But I'm gonna let that set. These are what they look like. So again, these have melted because of just from holding them. So that's something you have to be mindful of. But I like them because they stand up, and if you were to give these as a gift, it's super cute. But you just drop it in hot water or coffee, however you prefer, and you let it melt and mix it. So I'm gonna go get the chocolate shells. So you can tell the chocolate is ready because of these little points where you can tell where this is the only spot it's sticking. And most of the time it just falls right out like that. But you can also take the silicone and pull it out. And if it doesn't come out immediately, then it does need either a little bit more time or you just have to unstick it. So I'm pulling the silicone out. And I love these molds. They're a bit pricey. I think the ones I've seen and found range between $15 and $18. Sometimes you can find them for like $12. They really are an investment. But for me, who makes hot chocolate bombs for like to sell and even as gifts, it's worth it for me to have this. So then what you do, you take your favorite hot chocolate mix. A lot of packages say to put 4 tablespoons. I think that's way too much. And I do 2 at most. Now I'm working with a half tablespoon measurement, so that's why I'm doing 4, because 4 times 1/2 is 2. Okay. And then I have these dehydrated marshmallows. I bought them at Pila's because they have them. But you can also find them on Amazon. If you buy them on Amazon, you're going to get a really giant bag. So regular mini marshmallows from the store work just fine too. Just add them in. You add in however much you want. Really, it's all up to you and your preference. And I'm going to heat it in. And then you take the other half. Just a quick swipe. Place it right on top. And whatever excess chocolate is there, you kind of just wipe off. So you get a nice smooth ball. And there you have it. So these, you can store them in an airtight container and they keep for a long time because it's hot chocolate, it's dehydrated marshmallows and the hot chocolate mix. So I'd say you can keep them for like a week, but it does have to be in an airtight container. But usually people have these in the same day. If you wanted to decorate them, you could drizzle them with white chocolate. You can add sprinkles to match, the season or whatever holiday is coming up. But they're also great just plain. It's a super simple but fun treat to make. Kids love these. I know adults that love them. If you have a sweet tooth, it's kind of like the perfect thing. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.